Yeah, obviously good win. Talked about starting way faster than we had the last 2 weeks. Obviously, Northern we started not fast at all. We were down 14-0, and obviously Kent or Akron 0-0 late second quarter, and we did that. Both sides, ball and ST played really well. You got a 21-7 lead. Defense comes up with another turnover, gets pressure on the quarterback, forces a turnover. Handry with another pick. I don't know how many career picks that is, but he's got a ton for a linebacker. It sets us up to really maybe put the game away in the first half. We should at least be up 24-7. We were down first down the 15. Obviously, they stripped the ball. Good play by their linebacker. We got to do a better job there on offense. And then we have a chance for a sack, and we have a chance for a pick on the same play, and it ends up being a big play, not a good play for us, good play for Eastern, and they punch it in, and you look up, it's 21-14. Our kids have come a ways since early in the year. We didn't, our coach did a good job at halftime. Our kids just, the last 2 minutes were awful. We went from really being in control to making it anybody's game, and a lot of times things, there's a lot of fans probably thinking, okay, we blew that, we should have put them away, and now that's going to cost us, and we get another huge pick in the third quarter by Eli. That's the biggest play in the game. My mind, because it's 21-14. If they score there, it's really a dogfight probably, but Eli makes a big pick, and then we go right down and score 28-14. We get a stop. We score again, 35-14. We get another safety on our punt return team off a bad snap, and now you get to play your subs in the fourth quarter. So, again, really good team win again. DQ played tremendous, not only with the 4 touchdowns. Obviously, that's on paper in the yardage, but just how he handled the game. He made plays, they blitzed into a bootleg. It should be a bad call. It is a bad call. If you know they're blitzing, you're not going to boot into the blitz. No one would do that. Well, he just makes the guy miss it. So, one, you just want to get out of that down. If you throw that ball away and get to 2nd and 10, it's a great play by your quarterback because, again, they got us. It's going to happen during the game. But he just makes the guy miss, and then he hits Shane for a big play. So, instead of it being a potential disaster, those are plays that lose games. He turns in a big chunk play for our offense. So, and then there's other times, a couple times a red zone, we had calls, they had good calls on. There was nothing there. He just got us out of the down. He didn't force it. He likes to make plays. He moved around. He didn't force it, got us out of the down. And then we scored 1 or 2 plays later. And those are the little things that, when you have him and he's a playmaker, can he try to do too much? We saw it at UNLV, right? Just trying to do something extra in a situation where he made tons of plays, and obviously if you have 4 touchdowns and a lot of yards, but also just there's a lot of plays that no one will notice that he managed and protected our football team and played a really, really smart game. So really, really good overall. Tons of guys on defense contributed. Special teams were lights out again. Our 2 returners, Keith and Lionel, did a great job. Obviously Kellen was great, and Dom makes all his kicks, and our punter was fantastic. So played really well on 4th down again, and we got to continue to do that.
All right, look good.
You're without Kenny and still almost 300 yards rushing for you guys. You're sort of back to that running back by committee that has been more the norm over the last few years. Has your guys' preparation changed at all, knowing that you're going to use maybe more running backs now than you would have a few weeks ago?
Yeah, and hats off to Ringer, because Ringer really didn't practice last week. He was just trying to he got a few reps on Thursday, and he got in there and did, pass pro was great. He caught a touchdown pass. He had a couple nice runs in the fourth quarter for us, so he's getting closer. He'll be way closer being back to being himself, but he kind of got it out. Then obviously Brunson and DeShante did a great job again. We're bringing along Tito. Tito hasn't played yet, but Tito's coming. We're going to need all of them. And then Spell and Keith back there, obviously. Keith had the 1 fumble. Okay, that's not very good, but Keith also had a dynamic touchdown run that got called back on offensive face mask penalty. But it was a great run and made a couple guys miss and scored pretty easily on a play that probably could have been a 6-yard gain, and he turned into a 45-yard touchdown. So, yeah, we're trying to – it's everywhere with all our injuries. We got tons of guys out. Colsey didn't play, Nasir doesn't play. Like, Brunson actually leaves the game in the third quarter. He can't go anymore. Like, so it's all hands on deck, just like everybody going into week 8. Like, if you're here and you can breathe and you can get out there, let's find a way to help our team. And our kids are doing a great job of doing that right now.
Did your overall message change a ton going into halftime just with what happened over the last 2 minutes? I know you said that you were kind of just trying to acknowledge that it wasn't good, but how did that kind of change your guys' outlook going into halftime?
Yeah, just again, our kids really care. Keith was really down. Keith let his teammates down, and he was 2 down. I mean, like, again, you shouldn't, like, if you fumble and you don't care, that's bad, right? Like, oh, I don't care, I fumble, But he was like, and that our defense was very frustrated because they know they gave a quick one at the end of the half for no reason. That it wasn't good for Eastern, but we didn't play good defense on that drive. So they were frustrated. And like I said, our coach did a good job. Our message was, hey, would I like to have the last 2 minutes of first half back? I'd love to have them. Would I like it to be 24-7 or 28-7? Yeah, I would love it. But we're 21-14. We totally outplayed them in the first half. Besides that last, 28 minutes were great and 2 minutes weren't very good. All right, it is what it is. We got the ball. We got the ball in a 7-point lead over a team that we know we're outplaying. Why would we not continue to just outplay them? Like, if we can just keep our heads about ourselves and not react to it, like I always say, catastrophe nation, I'm sure the stadium felt everybody, oh my God, what just happened? Oh, it was bad football is what happened. That's like, but why should that affect our future? Why should that? We were beating them pretty soundly on both sides of the ball in SD. Why would that change unless we panic? So our big thing was just relax. Yes, I'm not very happy about the fumble or the big play or the touchdown, whatever. Like, none of us are. We all feel the same way. We all are kind of upset right now. Okay, let's move on and let's go back to playing Miami football. And if we play like we played the first 20 minutes of the first half, we're going to win this game pretty easily, right? And we did. We went right back to playing the way we had been playing. It's just how you react to things in the moment in the arena is huge, and our coaches did a really good job of not overreacting to. We all felt the same. Whatever you got, we were like, God, that's crappy. It's anybody's game now, right? And it was anybody's game at halftime, unfortunately. But it was self-inflicted. But that's what we have to do. But let's go back to playing well on O&D and special teams and find a way to win a game.
Given the turnover that you had along the offensive line, you're now a little bit past halfway in the season. I guess a lot of credit should go out to that line that's turned it into a pretty good running game and that, able to pass block as well.
Yeah, no, they're getting better and better, and they're a work in progress, and they're not close to being a finished product. They're, talk to me this time next year, of what we could be up there. Could be really, really good. So, again, then you lose Uke, and you got Gavin stepping in there, and then you got Jacob Shore stepping in there, along with Greg and Eric on the left side and Drew on the right side, and then you got Manu and what's my backup center's name? What? Yeah, Mitchell Butler. I call him Mississippi. So we played 7 O-linemen, and we had 1 O-lineman out. So, but they're coming along. Our run blocking's getting better and better, but we're not. There's still plenty of improvement there, and we know that. That's what's great about this group. They like to block people, and every game experience we see different stuff. And then their pass pro, like you said, Saturday was really good again. Allowed us time to throw the football and make some plays through the air.
The big TDs, the long ones, and that was that just kind of a mental moment, or was it a physical thing? Or are they things that are easily fixed? Because you'll be facing Lowry, then he's pretty good at heaving the ball around.
Yeah, no doubt. So the first one, just an on-time throw, and our coverage wasn't good, and we lost leverage, and we jumped a route we shouldn't have jumped, that was a mental mistake on a couple guys on the first touchdown. It wasn't one guy; it was 2 guys. Should have been back there, and there was nobody back there. Next one's a scramble situation, and then you got it. You're in good position, which we were in good position initially, but then we got somebody the quarterback, and the quarterback shrugged him off and created some extra time. And scramble, we got to get our eyes, and we got to go glue to receivers. Like we got to go match to the receivers. We didn't. We were in good shape, but then when the scramble started, we just stared at the quarterback, and he threw the ball, and we were floating around. As opposed to we got to go get on receivers in any scramble situation, man or zone. We got to go glue to them, and we didn't go glue to them. So that's more of how we defend the scramble situation, and got to do a better job.
Coach, any concern with so many new guys on the team when 2 teams come in at 3-0 and it's such a big game of just keeping their focus?
Yeah, no, huge concern. And again, do we play the game the right way? Do we go try to do too much? Do we go out there and lose our focus because we're going to play so hard that we're going to be so excited that it's a big contest? Yeah, and a lot of these kids, it's going to be their first big game that they've been in, not watched. A lot of our kids have watched big games. Like, you got a lot of, so yeah, no, it's a concern always. Like, keeping these guys, who they are, but focused. They like to play. They like to enjoy. They like each other. And they like to celebrate with each other, which is awesome. We got a very awesome team. It's a great group to be a part of. But then just where's the focus? And we can let our focus down pretty quickly, and it still shows up last Saturday. There's some bad things happen in a hurry when we're not locked in.
And it's just Monday, but have you had a chance to look at Western and just some of the challenges that they bring?
Yeah, I've watched probably over 30 hours of Western football, so I've had a chance to look at them. Yeah, so
enough, all right.
obviously we recruited Brock Rudder out of Canfield, like competitive winner, first of all. Now he's a super talented runner and thrower. Obviously he's our leading attempts rusher, so he's a great runner, but he's not like just a running quarterback. He can throw the football. But the thing we loved him out of high school, just he's a competitive winner. Like he's a competitive, we love the kid. Yeah, I'm going to Indiana. Western got him, on the rebound. But he was definitely somebody that we would have loved to have, and he's proven us right that he's a really good player in this league. They got the back is a really, really talented guy that plays behind a really talented O-line. Back was freshman of the year 2 years ago in our league. Buckley kid is really gifted. They got other good backs too. They got a bunch of different receivers. They spread the ball around kind of like us. They got a bunch of talented receivers. So they're very talented offense. Obviously, they like to run the ball. They're great at running the ball, and then they like to try to throw the ball over your head. Defensively, they've played the best defense in the league, pretty hands down. I mean, they've given up 220 yards a game for the last 4 weeks, which is hard. Our defense plays great defense. We hardly held anyone to 220 yards, let alone do it over a 4-week. They held Ball State to 88 yards last week, and Ball State was coming off a great win over OU, obviously, and they held them to 88 yards for the game. That's almost unheard of. But they held Toledo to 13 points, which is almost unheard of, and they're not giving up anything, rushing or passing. And they're great. The Tucker kids are talking about being like Khalil Mack, and he's eight sacks and 22 hurries in 7 games. Those numbers are, they're hard to fathom, that to put up those numbers. Everyone says he gets a sack every game. No one gets a sack. It's a very rare person. He's averaging over a sack a game, and he's great against the run too. It's not just he rushes a passer. He's why you have 22 tackles. He's got, I don't know how many tackles for loss. He's got a ton of tackles for loss in the run game, too, on top of his sacks. But the rest of their D-line's fan, they got 6, 7 other guys. They're big, athletic. They're long, athletic. They're just exactly what you like to have, and they are a menace up front. Not just Tucker gets, like I said, he gets all the accolades and deserves them, but their other guys can play up there, and their other guys are very productive. They got a good linebacking core. They got a bunch of DBs. The Halla kid's a great player. I've known his old man. Great kid, great. He's like the leader of the defense, but he's a great player at safety. He's been there, he was a Michigan State kid off starter, and was a really highly touted high school player. We tried to recruit him out of high school too, and he's playing great football. And they got a bunch of other DBs that are they play zone, they play man. They're really good. They're well coached. There's the numbers they put up are the numbers you're good in all phases. So they're not giving up any points to anyone, and they're really not giving up any yards to anyone. A lot of just punts, and then turnovers and negative plays. And so we full work cut out for an offense to move the football and try to generate some offense and not look like everybody else has looked like against them, which if you watch everybody else against them, it's not very pretty right now.
And then take this however you want. Last Thursday had Light the Night. This Saturday you've got the helmets with the ribbons. Yep. Just talk a little bit about raising awareness for cancer.
Yeah, it's been last Thursday night's always one of my favorite nights of the year. Coach Yoch does an amazing job with setting that up, and then the support we get and the participation we get and what it means to so many people. And we raised over $20,000. Our football team raised over $20,000. Now we got the help. There's a bunch of other people, football with our greater family, and there's a sorority that's jumped on board and partnered with us, and the STEM sorority. And I said, it's great that you guys helped us raise money, but what we really need you to do with this, you brilliant STEM majors, go figure out a way to beat cancer. Really, like I said, I'll be supporting the fight my whole life. You guys are smart enough to actually win the fight for us. So it's pretty awesome what Yoch and we have created, but Yoch has done the lion's share of the work, obviously, and then the community getting behind us and community people out there. And it's awesome. There's nothing in it. It's sad at the same time. You feel the extreme high of like, this is what's good about life, with all the negativity in the world. And you just get on social media if you want to find negativity, right? There's always somebody complaining about someone or about something, right? And then you have a night like that, and everybody's just No one cares at the light the night walk what your religious preference is, what your political preference is, what your skin color is, what you like to have for dinner, who's your favorite team. There's none of that. It's just, we're all people here supporting each other and supporting people that are fighting the battle, supporting people that have lost a battle and having memories. So amazing. Then we got the ribbons, which has been a huge deal on our helmets this weekend, and with Cancer Awareness Month, and it brings as much awareness. It's national news. We wear the ribbons on our helmet, and it gives us all perspective, not just our players. It's great for our kids. It's great for our coaches. It's great for everybody. Anyone's at that night, and you don't go home and think, man, I could be a better person. Man, I can do more things to help other people. I can do things, more good things in the world, and less. I can complain less, right? You heard the young lady talk, who's Hamilton Ross's head coach's daughter. You listen to her talk, and you think, like, what complaints do I have in my life? You know, like, what am I unhappy about? But we all get unhappy, you know. So it's amazing perspective to experience those moments.